to be holding a cigarette, but he also has his pipe in front of him. So I think we'll just, since I didn't draw in the cigarette, I'm just gonna leave it, and we'll just give him his pipe in a minute here. That's kind of funny, isn't it? To be having both. I suppose he probably did, though. I mean, he really, well, all of us. I was a smoker for a chunk of time there, and my dad is a smoker as well. So I suppose all of us were quite bad smokers. So I guess it's feasible he has a cigarette and a pipe. He also has these very bizarrely long fingernails in this picture. Like they're like quite long. There. No. I thought I made a mistake. I did not. Never mind me. I did make a small mistake when I started drawing the bar in. So I didn't realize that I just kind of drew it in, but we're just gonna ignore that and pretend like, you can't really see that. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, okay. We're just missing a finger here. That's alright. Let's get that one in here. I'm also using a new right, 1, 2. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's super noticeable now. You can kind of blend that in. So anyway, I'm trying out a new way of recording my videos. Previously, I'd been putting my phone up on a okay, now I can bring the bar through here. So, previously, I had been putting my phone on this kind of like, I suppose, it's not really a boom, but like something along those lines. And so it just wasn't working. I kept hitting chords. It was making it really hard to record. I don't know, maybe I needed a better piece of equipment, but I'm trying not to continuously try and buy new things. It seems very wasteful, so okay, well I did buy a new thing, but I mean, I just didn't want to buy something expensive, if that makes sense. So I got this chest clip from Amazon, and I thought, we'll just see how this goes and if it works as a way of recording, because I also do videos in my woodshed. person's hands, it's actually weirdly hard to maintain it's weirdly hard to maintain the ability to see someone's hands and have it make sense and not have too many crazy shadows. So, I don't know. Maybe a better person than me understands how to, yeah, this kind of comes across more. See, it comes up though, because his hand is up here. Maybe I just start with the knuckles. Just use that as a reference point. Realistically, in the actual photo, his hand's all the way up here, but I don't know, I don't know. Because it goes this way, and so it goes this way, right? And then kind of swoops. And then connects. Okay. His fingers are. I'm gonna have a few extra lines here that I shouldn't have, but we'll deal with that, I suppose. So yeah, I'd kind of said it in my when I was recording this yesterday, the first time around. I had said that we are going to be building, well, not really building, renovating a old house in the hopefully sooner rather than later, but based on what builders are saying, we'd be ways down on getting things done, so not great, but sure, what can you do? But anyway, I really like the idea of, you've seen them maybe at like craft fairs or Christmas markets or artist markets, where people do those, they're like pen line drawings, basically what I'm doing here, and they, they're in like a nice wooden frame, and I just like the idea of having a few of those around my house, but that they'd be family members and that kind of thing, instead of just, oh, that wrist is wrong. I don't know. We are coming out with a lot of mistakes here, so well, you know what? We're just gonna persevere, and what we'll do is kind of shaded in shadow anyway. The only problem with this is that you get these, if you go over the paper too many times, you end up with these not great little paper bits. Okay. So just do rambling videos, but to do kind of videos where I would maybe discuss some kind of, I don't know, maybe historical thing or something like that. just